All right. Well, Con, it's been a while. It is always great getting to see you. Love the hair. I mean, just how you doing on this what? I don't even know what day it is anymore. Just how are you?
金田選手、まず今日いつもありがとうございます。お時間いただきありがとうございます。素敵な髪の毛ですね。とてもいいと思ってます。今回、今日の調子、今までこのファイトキャンプの調子、仕上がりはどんな感じですか？
いつもありがとうございます。今日もよろしくお願いします。仕上がりはもうものすごく良くて、減量中なんですけど、パワーも全然落ちてなくて、バッチリです。体調もいいので、バッチリです。
So Drake, thank you always. Thank you for having me today. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. As far as my condition is that I'm right in the middle of cutting weight, in the process of cutting weight, but I still feel very strong. I feel powerful, and it's been a very great camp so far.
All right, awesome to hear it. And I mean, just ask for the pink hair, Connor. You had the red last time. You've had many colors before. How do you like decide which color you're going to go with?
渡辺選手、前回赤い系、今回はピンク、紫ピンクっていう感じなんですが、その色を決めるのってどういう基準で色を決めてるんですか？
基本は赤で、もう毎回赤にしてて、今はちょっと染めてから時間が経っちゃって落ちてきて、ピンクになってるんですけど、また赤にしたいんで、現地で、染めるやつを持ってって、試合前にまた赤にする予定です。
So, my go-to color is always red. So, I've had my hair red for a while, and the pink is the result of just the colors kind of washed away. So, I plan to take my hair dye over to London and dye red before the fight.
Okay, all right. So we'll have a full red outfit again, like last time. I thought that looked very cool. How you had the full red going on there.
では前回みたいに真っ赤なコスチュームもと合わせたような真っ赤な、衣装でと髪の毛で登場するということですね。あれ前回すごく良かったと思いました。
ありがとうございます。今回も、はい、真っ赤な、もう基本的に赤が好きなんで、全部赤で攻めていこうと思ってます。
Yeah, so red is my favorite color. So it will be again, all red, and red will be my color.
Definitely helps you stand out. That is for sure. So you mentioned it right there, London. I mean, very, very cool to see, you get the opportunity in a different country. I know you love the idea of going international with whatever it may be, just traveling in general, right? So how excited are you to go to London, and have you been there before?
今回の試合がイギリスのロンドンで開催されるわけなんですが、渡辺選手はアスリートとして、世界中で競技を行うこと、には慣れていると思うんですが、今回イギリスのロンドンになります。ロンドンへは今まで行かれたことありますか？
はい、ロンドンは柔道の合宿で、試合はないんですけど、合宿で1週間ほど、ロンドンはちょっとしか行ってないんですけど、イギリスの方には、行きました。
So I've been to the UK for a training camp in my judo days. I didn't necessarily stay in London, so I've only briefly visited London before. But yeah, I've been there. I've been to UK for about a week for judo training.
Okay, all right. So you're looking to do maybe some more exploring this time if you can after the fight.
じゃあ今回試合の後時間があればちょっとロンドン見てみたいっていう気持ちはありますか？
いや、めっちゃいます。もう逆に、本当はあと、ね、2週間ぐらいロンドンにいて遊びほうけたいぐらいですね。
Yeah, in a perfect world, I would love to stay an extra 2 weeks and just have fun in London.
Yes, in a perfect world. So I guess unfortunately not the case this time, right? But it's funny, Con. I mean, last time we caught up too, you surprised me a little bit with your English there, with some phrases you were saying. So have you been working on your English since we last talked?
渡辺選手前回インタビューしてお話ししたときに、渡辺選手が結構英語の文章だったり単語を覚えていて驚いたんですが、あれから進歩というか英会話の方は学ばれたりしているんですか？
いや、全然進歩はないです。ただ、ちょっと YouTube でちょろちょろ勉強してるぐらいなんですけど、 全然難しいです。
To be honest, I have not improved whatsoever. I tried to watch some YouTube videos to learn English, but it's very difficult. And learning a language is very hard.
Yes, it definitely is, but that's okay. That's why we have Shingo, right?
覚えるのが大変なので、慎吾がいるということになりますね。
いや、本当に、笠木さんいなかったら私も何も試合できないんで。
いやいやいやい
あり
やいや。
がとうございます。
Yeah, she said that she won't be able to fight if I wasn't there. So that's not true. Anyways,
Of
Next
course,
question.
of course. Next one. Moving on. Anyway, so Kana, unfortunately, last time we didn't catch up was right before your first official loss to Liz. So let's just get it out of the way. I mean, wasn't very long, sadly, but biggest takeaways from that one. I'm sure, it was a tough thing to kind of, work past and get over.
まあちょっと前回話した時は、渡辺選手、キャリア初の黒星の試合の前だったんですけれども、まあちょっと話しづらいことかもしれないですけど、まずちょっとそこについて触れさせてください。まあちょっと試合時間は、そんなに長くはなかったんですが、試合で学んだもの、試合で得たものってのは何かありましたでしょうか？
そうですね。やっぱり今までのどんな試合より得たものは、試合時間は短かったんですけど、得たものは大きくて、やっぱりその自分のいけないところ、その打撃を受けてしまって、まっすぐ下がってしまうところとか、相手が前に出てきた時の対応ができなかったり、あとは、まあ一番は試合に向かう時のもっとゲームプランとか戦略とかを練らないといけなかったなっていうところを学習できたので、すごく勉強になりました。
Yeah, so as you said, it wasn't a very long fight, but there I learned the most out of all my fights in that fight. And to be specific, is things like when I eat a shot, when I took a hit, I tend to retreat straight backwards, and that's not a good thing, I know. And how to deal with forward pressure. I didn't do a good job on dealing with the forward pressure of Carmouche. And, just heading into the fight with a half-ass game plan. I think I need to come in there with a better solid game plan and execute it. So there's so many things that I lacked in that fight and so many things I learned from that loss. So, those are little things that I can mention.
And that fight was, I think, almost a year ago now, which is kind of crazy. It doesn't feel that long ago, I don't think. But did you intentionally kind of take as much time as you could fixing the issues that you just mentioned right there? Is that kind of why you waited to take a fight now?
まあ今考えるとすごく本当に短い期間のように感じるんですけども、実は1年ぐらい前の、話でして。今回この試合感覚が空いてしまったことに対しての理由だったりとか、それこそ今学んだ、今おっしゃった学んだことを強化したりとか、今どういう理由で、1年近く試合感覚空けたのでしょうか？
そうですね。まずは前回の試合で、怪我をしてしまって、眼下底2箇所骨折してしまって、それでその手術と治療で結構数ヶ月経ってしまって、それが本当、一番の原因というか、空いた原因で、そこからちょっと練習も積みたかったので、ちょっと時間が空いてしまったんですけど、その分、しっかり練習できました。
So one of the main reasons was because I got injured in that fight, and I broke two parts of my orbital bone. So I had to get surgery on that, and then I had to recover from that. So that took away a few months out of my time. And on top of that, as you mentioned, I wanted to work on some things. I wanted to raise my basic skills. So, all that added to that together in the combination of an injury and working on my skills resulted in a layoff.
Right. Yeah, I actually totally forgot about, you having that injury. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because that is definitely kind of a crazy thing. I mean, would you say that's the worst injury you've had? Because, surgery on the face, that's no fun.
いや、そうでした。私も渡辺選手が、ガンガテやってしまったことはついつい忘れてしまったんですけども、
そうです。はい。
自身のキャリアの中で一番の大怪我だと思いますか？まあ当然その顔の手術をするっていうのはなかなか
はい。
いいものではないと思うので、ご自身の
はい。
中では一番の怪我だと思いますか？
いや、格闘技、MMA 始めてからは多分一番大きな怪我になるんですけど、柔道時代にその膝の前十字靭帯を2回切ったり、肩の腱を切ったりして結構もっとできない期間があったんで、全然顔は大丈夫です。へっちゃらでした。
So, speaking of my MMA career, yes, this is the biggest injury in my MMA career. But during my judo career, I've had pretty bad injuries on my knee. I think I tore my ACL twice. I tore my ligaments and tendons in my shoulder. So I've had longer layoffs than this.
Okay, yeah, those are pretty serious ones. So for MMA, hopefully you don't get anything that bad, but we'll knock on wood for that. Um, and I mean, kind of, it's funny, when you look at, you had the perfect record before, undefeated, and sometimes for fighters that can be a little bit of like a pressure, to keep that. I think we've talked about it before. I'm sure it's in one of the occasions, but for you, does it at all feel like a relief? Like kind of a stress lift that you don't have to worry about being perfect anymore with keeping the zero nice and clean, or is it kind of sad that you don't have that anymore?
まあちょっとこれ多分前にもお話ししたと思うんですけれども、その無敗、全勝っていう完璧な記録を持っていて、それがまあ崩れてしまったわけなんですけれども、その完璧なレコードが崩れてしまったことによって、何かこう、その完璧なレコードを維持しなきゃいけないっていう見えないプレッシャーから解放されたとか、そういうなんかちょっとした意味でなんか楽になったとか、そういう精神的な気持ちってありますでしょうか？
そうですね。なんか、あんまり基本的に、そのパーフェクトレコードにもともとこだわってなかったので、なんか、あまり変わらず、また一つ一つ強くなるためにやることやるだけだなっていう感じで、あんまり変わってないです。すいません。
Yeah, so I've really never really cared for the perfect record. I think I said this last time too, but for me, it's just polishing my skills, raising my basic skills, and doing my best to get the win that's put in front of me. So in that sense, nothing has really changed since that loss in terms of mentality wise.
Okay, fair enough for sure. And I mean, just kind of to wrap up on the Liz Carmouche topic, she is the champion now, Kana. So I'm sure that maybe makes it kind of less, at least more tolerable, right? Because she's gone on to become the champ. But I'm sure you did see the fight with Velasquez, and kind of controversial. A lot of people thought that it was stopped a little bit too early. But from your point of view as a fighter and someone in the division, like, how did you feel about the ending of that fight?
まあ、渡辺選手がこう負けた相手が、まあ、この間チャンピオンになったので、多少流飲が下がるというか、現チャンピオンに敗北したということには当然なるので、まあ、そういう部分では、渡辺選手の敗戦も、こう正当化じゃないですけど、こう意味のあるものだったというふうに捉えると思うんですが、そのリズ選手とバレスケス選手の試合、これ、まあ、いろんな意見があって、止めるのが早かったんじゃないかとか、まあ、いろんなちょっと議論があるような内容だったんですが、あの試合ってご覧になられましたか？どう思いましたか？
はい、見ました。そうですね。やっぱり、試合自体のコントロールは、ベラスケス選手が完全にしてたと思うので、やっぱりそうダメージとか試合の流れを考えると、もうちょっと、なんか見てもよかったのかなとは思うんですけども、でもあの状態で多分もう動けてなかったので、止められても仕方ないかったかなと思ってます。
So overall, the fight, Velasquez had more control of the fight. She was definitely dictating the fight. And, with everything considered, with everything leading up to that point of the stoppage, everything considered, I personally would have thought, that the ref maybe could let it go a little longer. But again, when you look at just that moment, Velasquez wasn't moving. She was stuck and she wasn't able to move. So I don't think she can really complain about that fact either. I mean, everything leading up to the point, but if you look at just that moment, I could agree with that stoppage.
Yeah, it's definitely a very tricky and interesting one that you can kind of understands all sides of, I think, which is kind of, I guess, the fun of MMA that you have that ability to look at it that way. But as for you, Kana, obviously you have Denise Kielholtz coming up, who is the former Bellator kickboxing champion. I guess she technically still is, but there haven't been any kickboxing events recently, and she recently fought for the title herself. I mean, a fun matchup, right? She has a judo background as well, but she's also a very good striker. So, like, how are you preparing for this one specifically? Has it been focusing a lot on the striking because of obviously what we talked about with the result of the last fight, but knowing that she kind of leans on her striking a little bit more than her own judo?
そんな渡辺選手が次の相手で、キーホルツ選手と、対戦が決まりましたが、彼女について、どう思われますでしょうか。そもそももともと同じく柔道バックボーンを持ちながらも、ベラトールの女子キックボクシングのチャンピオンであって、スタイル的には彼女は柔道よりも自分の打撃の方を、に重きを置いて戦うようなファイターだと思うんですが、そんな彼女に向けて、渡辺選手はどういった部分を強化してきましたか。それは前回の試合から反省しているか、その学んだ打撃の対応の部分なのか、どういった、準備をされてきましたでしょうか。
はい。打撃の対応はもちろん、はい、練習して、打撃を結構、しっかり習って練習してきたところと、あとは、今までの通りの自分の強みを生かした、寝技の展開をもっともっと、密度を高くというか、なんていうんですかね、上げて、スキルを上げていく練習と、あと、しっかりとその自分の、パターンに持っていけるような試合運びをする練習をしてきました。
So I've definitely worked on my striking, obviously, and on how to deal with my opponent's striking. I've worked on that as well, but I've also worked on strengthening my strong points, and I've worked out a lot on how to utilize my strong points better and how to get to the position or how to get to that point where I can utilize my strength at the fullest. So I've worked a lot on my setups and how to get the fight to where I want to be.
Okay, very exciting. Looking forward to seeing how it plays out, and you can show that off in this fight. And we know that you're good friends with Rena Panchan, Kana. I've seen the videos you guys have done before and all. But like, have you ever trained like striking with her and picked up some stuff that she's maybe taught you?
当然その渡辺選手のその練習してきたその戦略だったり、その試合の持ってき方、展開の作り方を非常に楽しみにしています。そしてですね、渡辺選手はパンチャニーナ選手と結構仲がいいっていうのは、見ていて思うのですが、そのパンちゃんから打撃を教わったりとか、何か対策とか、打撃についての技術の交換とか、そういうものってあったりしますか？
全く、格闘技のことの話は全くしなくて、そうですね、コスプレの話とかばっかりなんですけど、なんか、パンちゃんが前十字の膝の手術をしたんで、そのちょっとアドバイスを勝手に自分がしたぐらいですね。格闘技は全くしてないです。
So to be honest, me and Pancha, we never talk about fighting at all. We just don't talk about it. We talk about cosplays. We talk about some other random topics. But yeah, it's crazy that we don't really talk about fighting at all. She recently had surgery on her knee. So I kind of gave her advice on how to deal with it and how to treat it and whatnot. But other than that, I really do not talk about the fight game with Panchan.
Okay, I mean, is that on purpose? Have you ever like wanted to train with her that way? Because that's kind of funny to be two fighter friends and then you just never talk about it. That's kind of funny.
それって渡辺選手とかパンチャン選手が意識してその格闘技の話をしないようにしているのか、本当に格闘技を生業にしている、選手たちが友達で格闘技の話をしないっていうのは非常に 不思議というか、まあ、あえて意識していない限りはどうしてもその話になっちゃうんじゃないかっていうふうに思っちゃうんですけども、それって意識されてるんですか？
いやー、全然意識してないんですけど、なんか、そんなに頻繁に会ったりするわけじゃないんで、YouTube の撮影とかで、はい、会ったりするぐらいなんで、はい。で
なるほどですね。
まだし、
Yeah,
はい。
you know, it's not intentional. Like we don't really think about it. And the thing is, like, it's not like we see each other often. We do collaborations on YouTube. It's more for the content purpose. So we meet, we do our thing, and you know we just kind of revisit whenever. So it's not like we meet every week or like we hang out often. So I think that's part of the reasons.
Yes. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. If you were spending like every single day together, then I'm sure it would be different. But that's not the case. So I mean, just as for this fight though, Kana with Denise, like it would put you back in a very good spot. She's highly ranked as you are still, what, top five? And like I said, she's just coming off that loss to Juliana, which some people think she won as well. So like, do you think that a win here could get you right back to maybe a fight away from a title fight? And of course, I'm sure you'd love a rematch with Liz.
うん、渡辺選手、今回のキーホルツ選手との試合をどういうモチベーションというか、どのように見ていますか？というのも、まあ、キーホルツ選手も、バレスケス選手に負けて、まあ、それもいろいろな意見があって、実はキーホルツ選手が勝ってたんじゃないかとかっていういろんな意見がある中の、黒星からの、復帰戦になるわけなんですが、渡辺選手と同じく、トップ5の、ランキング入りしている強豪の選手なので、当然この試合に勝ったらまた再びタイトル戦線にもうあと1つ2つぐらい先にタイトルマッチが見えてくると思うんですが、で当然そこのリズ・カルムーシュとのリマッチっていうものも見えてくると思うんですが、渡辺選手自身は、この試合どのように見てますか？
そうですね。私もそういうふうに見てて、この試合で勝った方がまたタイトルショットにぐっと近づくと思いますし、あと、まだなんか噂程度にしか聞いてないんですけど、日本でももしかしたらベラトール日本大会が開催されるかもしれないっていう話も、SNS とかで見るので、なんかそこで例えばタイトルマッチとかができたら最高だなって思うので、この試合でしっかり勝つことで、いろんなタイミングが良ければ、そういう方向に行けるんじゃないのかなと思うので、はい。しっかり勝ちたいと思ってます。
So yeah, pretty much you explained everything of what I've been thinking is that, she's a high ranked fighter. And I think whoever wins this fight will definitely take a leap towards that title shot. And, that's how I look at this fight. That's where the status is. And this is just a rumor, but I'm hearing rumors that, Bellator might put on a show in Japan this year, by the end of the year or at the end of the year, we're not sure. But, in a perfect world, it would be great for me to challenge that title in Japan, in the Bellator Japan event. If things go right, if things pan out right, and the timing, everything makes sense, I think, that would be the perfect scenario for me. But, definitely that's a motivation that I have.
Yeah, no kidding. That's a great point. I've been hearing the same thing. So that would be definitely a very perfect case scenario, Kana. So fingers crossed that it can all work out that way. But speaking of Japan and titles in Japan specifically, tomorrow we have the Deep Jewels 37 event going down with the flyweight tournament and the title going to be decided. And we got, Shizuka Sugiyama in there, who you're familiar with, Rin Nakai, who you never got to fight. I mean, are you going to be watching tomorrow? And who do you think's going to come out on top? Who's going to be the champ, Kana?
明日、日本の格闘技といえば、明日、ディープジュエルスで女子のフライ級のトーナメントが開催されると思うんですが、まあ当然、拳を交えた杉山選手、で、拳を交えなかった中井選手など、まあ注目の選手がいろいろと参加するトーナメントなんですが、明日、それのチャンピオンが決まるということで、渡辺選手はその大会見ますか？そして誰が勝つと思いますか？
そうですね。今日の夜出発で、飛行機に24時間ぐらい乗り換えあって乗るんで、 多分ちょっと見れないと思うんですけど、結果はすぐについたら、調べようと思ってて、そうですね、中井選手か杉山選手が決勝で当たって、あどっちかが勝つんじゃないかなと思います。
Oh, actually,
Mm.
I leave tonight. So, and I'll be traveling for the next 24 hours. So I don't think I'll be able to catch the fights, but I will make sure to get myself updated as soon as I have access to the internet. But my prediction is I think Sugiyama and Nakai will both win, and one of them is going to win in the finals.
Yes, yeah, I agree with that. I think that's what everyone's kind of hoping for and wanting to see. So we'll see how it plays out. And yeah, I won't be able to watch it either, I don't think, because I'm also traveling. But I mean, just as for those two, kind of like they've both been around for so long, plenty of experience. Like, would you like to see them in Bellator at some point too?
まあ、実を言うと、私も移動するので、ライブでその試合を見ることができないんです。私もですね、多分みんなが思ってるように、その杉山選手と中井選手の決勝戦になるんじゃないかというふうに思ってるんですが、渡辺選手からしてみて、その杉山選手だったり、中井選手、日本のフライ級の女子がベラトールにどんどん参戦してくるっていうのを望んでいますか？
ああ、そうですね。はい、もっと、フライ級に限らず、日本人選手が増えてくれたら、嬉しいなとは思いますね。はい。
So yeah, I don't really want to limit it to just flyweight fighters, but I just hope more Japanese fighters in Bellator, in general, Japanese women fighters in general, get to be on the Bellator roster. That's what I would want.
Yeah, cannot go wrong there. So hopefully we do get to see an influx coming in soon. Bellator, make the signings, do all that. But anyway, Kana, taking plenty of your time. Of course, I got to get to bed. You got to get on your plane and all that, I'm sure, soon enough. But last thing I will leave you with, I noticed that you posted a picture doing the Ginyu Force pose from Dragon Ball with your team. So I'm curious, are you a big Dragon Ball fan?
渡辺選手、ちょっともう最後の質問になるんですが、本当に、
はい、
これから移動前に本当にありがとうございます。最後の質問なんですが、最近ギニュー特選隊のポーズを、されていたのをちょっと SNS 上で見かけたんですが、渡辺選手自身はドラゴンボールのファンなんですか？
ドラゴンボールめちゃくちゃ好きで、全巻全部漫画持ってて、むしろやっぱり私世代の格闘技が好きな人とかはみんなそうだと思うんですけど、やっぱドラゴンボールに一番影響を受けて、それがバイブルで、孫悟空になりたいと思って生きてます。
So, yes, I absolutely love and adore Dragon Ball. I have all the comic books. It's my Bible. And just like everybody my age, my generation who love to fight, who are in this industry, I'm sure everybody has been influenced greatly by Dragon Ball. So for me, it's, I've wanted to be Son Goku. I've wanted to be Goku, and Dragon Ball is my Bible. So to answer your question, yes, I absolutely love it.
Yep, totally understandable there. And so would Goku be your favorite character then?
では、あれですか、孫悟空が一番好きなキャラですか？
はい、もちろんです。はい。そのドラゴンボールのちょっと、スーパーサイヤ人ゴッドの色も兼ねて赤にしてます。
Absolutely. Son Goku is my favorite fighter. And the red hair also represents Super Saiyan God with the red hair. So
all right, there we go. We came full circle there, Kana. We started with the hair and we ended with the hair. So I think that's perfect.
渡辺選手、素晴らしい。今回のインタビューはもう一周回って見事にまとまって終わった感じですね。髪の毛の移動の理由を説明して終われるっていうのは今回素晴らしいインタビューだったと思います。
はい、ありがとうございます。おかげさまで楽しかったです。
Thank you, Drake. It was all your questioning is how you led the interview. So yeah, it was very fun. Thank you very much as always.
Of course. Just how the conversation flowed. So, all right, Kana, I will let you get on with the rest of your day and the traveling you got to do. And I'm sure we will catch up again soon. But until then, I wish you the best of luck. Cannot wait to see the fight. Always very, very fun getting to watch you fight and catch up with you. So thank you so much. Big arigato gozaimashita. And yeah, we'll catch up again soon.
では渡辺選手、本当に今日は移動前なのにお時間いただいて本当にありがとうございました。道中気をつけて、試合楽しみにしてますんで、いろいろと体調にも、道中も気をつけて、行ってきてください。また、ぜひお時間取ってまたお話聞かせてください。今日はありがとうございました。
はい、すいません。ありがとうございました。
All right, thank you. Thank you, Drake.